In November of this year, it will have been 5 years since Arcane first came out. I rewatched it over the last weekend and I just had to know if it was as good as I remembered. And let me just tell you right now, it was. In this video, I'm going to talk about all my notes from the rewatch and everything that I loved just as much as I remembered, but also I am going to do a rewatch of season 2 next week. And if you want to watch that with me in the Discord, link below. We're going to do a watch party after this video releases every day for the next 3 days, watching 3 episodes a night. But again, I am going to break down everything I absolutely love about this show. How even on a rewatch, everything is still as beautiful as I remember. I mean, I can't think of a show I have liked this much in a while. Genuinely, it might be Arcane or Avatar: The Last Airbender for me. I can't choose. I gotta rewatch season 2 before I decide that decision. But if you like Arcane and want to listen to me yap for the next, I don't even know how long, maybe 20 minutes, maybe less, maybe more, I don't know. Then let's just get right into it. I'm going to go through my notes first. Something that Arcane just does beautifully in this season and the next is they incorporate music in such a satisfying way with completely new scores and new music videos almost throughout the entire season. And in season 1, just when you're going down into Zon, the Undercity, and they play the Welcome to the Playground song, it's so captivating and intoxicating, and you get this expansive feel of the entire place, and you can just tell the vibe immediately in one episode within 10 minutes. They just show this sprawling city that just feels so vibrantly disgusting, and it's so beautifully, weirdly gross and awesome. I don't know how to explain it. There's so many shots throughout the show, especially when they're using elevators and stuff, that just show them going deep into the underground or coming up out of the underground or the undercity. I don't know, it's a weird steampunk mix. I'm already yapping hella and I'm not even through one note, but it is so good. They also in the first episode introduced Singe, which I just thought was really interesting. I didn't realize until this rewatch. I was like, oh, Singe is in this show from the very beginning, and it is also telling of how much this show does to set up season 2 and set up just lore in general in the future. They do such a good job introducing. Singe is introduced in episode 1, Victor's introduced in episode 1. Again, this is hella spoilers if you haven't watched the show somehow by now. But they literally show Victor handing off the Arcane to Jace in episode 1. That is not paid off until the end of season 2. And I heard people saying this is a retcon. I was like, no, it's not a retcon. This is totally exactly what they planned and exactly what they executed. I thought that was so good. In episode 2, I wrote down a note that just every shot looks like a painting. And I think from my memory, this even gets more insane in season 2, but genuinely, whatever crack Fortiche was smoking when they made this show has to be studied. They were just straight line after line, just doing cocaine throughout the entire show, man. It is hands down one of the most beautiful pieces of art, animation-wise, I have seen from a show in a long time. There's shows like JJK and all these new anime, Demon Slayer, that have amazing animation, but something about what Fortiche did in this show, genuinely every single scene feels like a painting. And I don't know how they did that, but hats off. I love you. I also wrote down that the amount of side characters in the show is so cool. Even just the counselors, they show all the counselors. There's that one dude with a mask who's want to see the Jace with his clothes off, and he just talks really cool. And then there's that lady with the golden rings that tick around her like a clock. Again, there's just all these characters that feel like they have such deep lore without even knowing anything about them. There's also all the Undercity people, and some of them are explored more in season 2, but they all have their own syndicates, and they just feel like such deep, rich characters. And even people in the background, you're oh, you may recognize people as Yordles. There's a lot of Zonites, obviously, and I don't know, you can just feel so much character in the show, and it really is incredible how complete background characters feel fleshed out. I also wrote down how Jace's mother's care of him and Jace's ambition is shown so perfectly. Like, it really hits home to me because Jace just wants to do more and be more, but his mom just wants him to be safe, and that really hits home for me, like just on a personal level, but as well as just like showing that, you know, Jace was almost given this like divine purpose, and his mom doesn't see that as much for him. Like, she knows, but she also wants him to be safe, and I don't know, that dichotomy was shown and explored very well. I also wrote down Jace is a pedophile, and I don't really know why I did that. Oh no, I do know why. It's because in this episode he says that he's 24 years old, and then Caitlyn is apparently like 16 to 14 in this episode. So then someone in my watch party on Discord called him a pedophile, and I wrote it down. I don't know why I did that. Also in this episode, Jace like steps on the edge of where his house like got blown up, and he steps on the edge and he's about to jump, and Victor like comes in and just says like, am I interrupting you, right before Jace jumps to kill himself. And I just thought that was really cool because, you know, this story between Jace and Victor played out into season 2 is so good. And later on in this season, Jace does the same thing. Like, they're constantly saving each other from themselves, and that plays out in like the most beautiful way in season 2. And I just thought it was cool that, you know, in season 1, episode 2, he's already saving Jace, and Jace at the end of the season saving him. And I don't know, I just think their relationship is so good. Also episode 3, I just think it's crazy how they killed Benzo. Again, another side character that's given so much care and like depth into in such a short time with so little information, but they killed Benzo right in front of Echo, and he saw everything. And that again pays off in season 2 so much. Like, when I saw that, I was like, man, I forgot how they butchered Benzo in front of Echo. Like, that means so much in season 2 when they like go back. Also in episode 3, Vi gives Jinx a flare, and she says, use this whenever you need to find me. And that's when they were kids, and Powder kept that until she comes back like way later. I thought that was just like really cool. Also, just episode 3 in itself is just a masterpiece, man. Like, the relationship between Vander, Vi, and Powder, Silco, Echo being involved, and all of this playing out later. But in this specific episode, just imagine having a sister, loving that sister. Your parents died, you saw them die, you're being taken care of an amazing man who you now consider a father, and then he's caught. You tell your sister to stay back, not because she always messes things up. You love her and you know she does mess things up, but she's trying, but she feels like she always messes things up. You tell her to stay back, she doesn't stay back, and then you go to save your dad. It was a trap by Silco all along. And then you're gonna die, but then boom, explosion. Your friends are dead. Your dad is almost dead. You don't know what happened. Your dad saves you, kills the other dudes, but then he's done. He says, take care of Powder, as his last words. And then you find out that Powder, your sister, is the one that blew up your friends. I cannot explain how much I hate and love this episode. Like, it is so gut-wrenching. Like, Powder just wanted to help. She would have done anything to help her friends, to help her sister, to help her dad, anything. And she ended up being the reason why 2 of them died and why 1 of them is basically dead. And then her sister saying, you're nothing but a jinx. Like, this was your fault. Like, and then she just starts crying in front of the fire, dude. Oh my gosh. She's like, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. And I don't think Vi wanted to leave her. Like, she just had to go get a breath. And then she saw Silco hovering over Powder. She was gonna go help. And then she gets pulled back and imprisoned. Like, that episode is disgusting. But man, is it good. I feel like I could talk 30 minutes just about that episode, man. Like, genuinely, the scene where like Silco standing over her, over Powder, like, I just wanted to lunge at my screen, man. Like, get away from her, dude. Also, the fact that basically, you know, they would have died anyway. Like, Silco set this all up and he was going to kill all of them. He did not care. He was going to do anything for the Undercity and he was going to get it done because he viewed Vander as, you know, selling out all of them. So yes, while the explosion might have killed two of Vi's friends and gravely injured their dad, I don't think that it was her fault at all. Like, she was genuinely trying to help and she's a tiny kid and you just can't blame them for that. Like, they were going to die. She realistically saved Vi. Vi would have been dead, in my opinion, 100% if Jinx didn't do that. So I don't know, man. Beautiful episode. And then episode 4, they like reintroduce Echo. You don't know who he is yet, but obviously those who know. And again, some of the fight scenes in this show, bro, like, they do the fight scene when they're all on the hoverboards and Echo is just being a badass and Jinx is also fighting them off as she's trying to like protect the Shimmer and stuff. I also think that this show, like in this episode, they showed Jinx, you know, obviously being on the crazier side and how she built like full models of Clagor and I can't remember the other one right now off the top of my head, but she built like full models of them and they're like talking to her all the time as well. She had Vi's bunny, and the way that they make Jinx seem insane in this show is maybe one of the best ways that I have seen any show do that with everyone. Like, I personally think that she is characterized way better than Harley Quinn, and I feel like that's the only like kind of close one for me. Like, she has lost everyone and everything, and then when she finds a new thing, she somehow loses that thing as well. She had her parents growing up, they were killed. She has Vander, he was killed. She made friends, they were killed, and that was her fault, or at least in her mind it was. Then she finds Vi again, and then she realizes that Vi's not gonna love her. She has Silco, who's like, again, this father, and she kills him. Like, she becomes this tortured, demented, like messed up person, and it's so good how they go through. Like, she is so insane but has hints of powder in her that make her still like a good person within those parts, but then it's also shown to be like a psychotic monster. Another thing I was going to talk about later, but I'll just talk about it now, is like the relationship between Jinx and Silco is so good. Like, Silco is a horrible person, but there's a scene towards the end of the show. He pours, you know, some alcohol, whatever it is, into Vander's like memorial fountain, and he says like, we'll do anything for our daughters, won't we? And I think how this show handled Silco and Jinx's relationship was perfect, because like obviously he groomed her in a sense of like making her embrace the Jinx side of her. Like, that's the side that he loves. He doesn't want her to be Powder. He wants her to be Jinx. He accepts her for being Jinx, and he thinks that Jinx is perfect. He says that right before he dies. They never do anything sexual either. They make him this like father figure that is like, it's just like this demented, but almost like, you know, he cares about her. So it's almost like, I don't know, he's characterized so perfectly, because I hate him, but I recognize that he's trying to keep her safe, and that's a good thing. And he's also like protecting in a way the darkest parts from fully controlling Jinx. I feel like his relationship with her, if he had just been this truly evil, like completely in and out evil person, that she would have just gone completely insane, had no connection to Powder, had no connection to her past, and just been like a mass murderer, and she probably would have been dead by now already, because she would have been seen as such a bad threat. But Silco's intentions throughout the show really are like, he just wants the Undercity to get what they deserve, to thrive, and that's what he mainly cares about, but he's willing to do anything it takes for that. And that's where the true like evil seeps in. Like, he will kill Vander, his brother, because, you know, he's willing to do anything it takes. He'll kill kids, he'll kill Vander, he'll kill anyone. He just wants the Undercity to thrive. But Jinx becomes his actual daughter. Like, he cares, and he'll do anything for her, even over the Undercity. Like, it's so good, man. Also in this episode, Jinx is like lighting off fireworks in her room, and as the fireworks descend down, they bounce off of her shoulder, and it's just like such a tiny detail. Like, they hit her shoulder and just spark out. Such tiny details that Fortiche does throughout the show that just make it feel so beautiful to watch. Like, extremely well done. Also, they go to get Vi out of jail. Like, when Caitlyn goes down, the jail just feels like this deep spiraling dark place that also is just, it really hits home. Again, this sort of like steampunk hex tech vibe that I think was extremely well done in a way that it was very like subtle, but it makes my imagination just like fill in all the rest, which I think was really well done. Also, one thing that happened in episode 5, there's that one guard dude with the angry eyebrows. Marcus, I think his name is Marcus. He has a daughter that I swear I thought she was the one guard from season 2 that like is a complete bitch. She looks exactly the same. I don't know if that was originally the intention and they decided not to, because the timeline doesn't make sense. She's too young and there's not enough of a time skip for it to make sense. But I just thought it was interesting because he is a total asshole guard, like actual ACAB with this dude, and then he births the spawn of Satan as well. I just thought that would have been funny, but I guess it's just a coincidence. And then when Vi gets out of prison, she like runs around the Undercity, and it really just feels straight out of Mirror's Edge. Like I feel like there's no way they didn't intend for that, as well as just the music playing, and she's running through, just getting back down to home. She's jumping through all the ladders and sliding down the poles, and you can just tell that she runs this place like this is her home. Such a unique way of showing what kind of character Vi is. And then in this episode as well, it feels like they were teasing LeBlanc too, which I just thought, again, like they clearly have a ton of plans for the show and future shows. I wrote down coolest sex scene ever on God, and I can't really remember what that was. I think Jace and Mel are having sex while something else really cool is going on, but to be honest, when I picture it in my head, I can only picture them, and I don't remember exactly what's happening, but I remember it being very cool. W4T. Also in episode 6, they show Mini Victor helping out Singe and sort of giving their relationship space and time in this episode of this season really furthers how much more feelings I have towards season 2. Again, like I forgot that Victor was basically like Singe's disciple from, you know, the season 1 as a kid. Like he grew up in the Undercity and became like this scientist through Singed, and found out that he was adapting animals to produce shimmer and all of this stuff. Like you then find out is for his daughter, but he's also this like crazed sort of do anything it takes a scientist as well. Like he has this semi-depraved mindset. But then Victor ends up falling into that as well. Like he understands like why he did that now. He understands why he needed that mutation through that poor little animal to sort of survive so that he could get the job done. And Victor ends up needing Shimmer to fuse with the Arcane. And I don't know, it's just like having these relationships be set up in season 1 that don't even pay off really until season 2, I just think is so well done. Also, it's interesting because the cave they go down to has these formations in the wall that really remind me of what Victor ends up, you know, doing to everything. Like with the Arcane, he ends up like deforming things in like this weird patterned way, and the cave they go into really reminds me of that. But he's making shimmer and it wouldn't involve the Arcane, I don't think so. I don't know what that means, but I just thought it was an interesting detail. Also, they show one of the dudes who's like addicted to shimmer who comes back in season 2 as well. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff that is from season 2 that they just straight up are like, yep, we playing this. Also, one thing that I actually don't know the answer to, so maybe you could help me, is Heimer keeps having like this flashback to some time where some dude had something and was like taking over a large part of the earth or something. And it's like this hellscape almost with this one dude in the sky. And I don't know what this reference is. I'm sure it's some lore thing that maybe I've heard at one point, but can't remember. But I thought that was really cool because that also feels like something they could flash back to and maybe make a series of. Also, the bridge scene in this episode is one of the best scenes in any show ever. The Jinx Echo fight is so beautiful, as well as before the fight, Jinx makes all these butterflies that mimic the bugs in the world to then explode and kill all the guards was so cool. And again, the fight, I mean, dude, the animation for the fight, having this like storyline of them as kids just playing, but then Echo using his device to kind of like go back and then actually have the fight play out, and the way that the music cuts and it's just straight action, it is so good. And then there's this part I think where Jinx is like screaming and there's the bodies of her dead friends like screaming around her while it's like spinning, and you see their different faces as it spins. Like, the animation in the show is, I don't know, it's unmatched, bro. And then again in episode 7 they have another music video which is just so cool. Like, they just straight make music videos in the show and they're amazing. And then another thing I wanted to add is Echo's design in this show is so good. Like, they improved on him from the game like tenfold, genuinely. And then there's the part where Echo hugs Vi, and man, oh man, does that just really hit home. Like, he thought she was dead, and oh gosh, it's so good. I also wrote down how the Undercity really looks like Howl's Moving Castle to me. Like, just the way the entire city feels is so cool in so many of these episodes. And then in episode 8, Ambessa shows up. Like, again, clear planning, thought throughout. They make Mel as a character, they show Ambessa, and I don't know, their relationship is really cool. And just ushering her into this episode, like, you can just feel that there was a lot of planning thought out and done. I also wrote down Kate's mom is low-key bad. I don't remember why I did that, but I agree with that statement. There's also this scene where this random lady is like locked up. This is a flashback with Mel and her mom, and she says kill one and it's over with, or let her live and then have to kill 1,000. I was wondering if there's lore behind this sort of character, because I was like, this kind of looks like it could be like a LeBlanc like character, and I think it would be really cool if that actually them killing that character is what led to them having to kill thousands. Like, her mom's ideas and philosophy is just completely flawed. So it kind of sets up Mel as to be like, you know what, screw it, my mom is crazy, I'm gonna be the opposite of her and see if I can do things better. Also, Mel's mom is a freak. Going in front of your sister's boyfriend naked is freak behavior. You are messed up. Also in this episode, Vi says that Piltover and the Undercity Zon are like oil and water. Caitlin says, what about us? And then Vi just looks at her and says, oil and water, it's not meant to be. And I just thought that was so sad. Like, that's not how it has to be, but it is how it feels. And then there's the part where Victor like combines with the Arcane and gets a leg, and he just runs for the first time. Like, it is so beautiful. But then you have the scene where he kills Sky on accident, or the Arcane kills Sky, and they just characterize him in this episode as like he finally gets what he wants. You know, he can run and he's like healed, but then he ends up killing someone that loved him, and that, you know, he ends up realizing like, damn, I could have maybe had that or done something. And they also show it in a way where she comes in like, I want to show you my research, like I did something, we might be able to do something that we don't know what that is now. Like, she just dies, we don't see it. And then there's also the scene where Jace goes to destroy the Shimmer and then ends up killing a kid, and that kid ends up being one of the children of one of the elites of the Undercity. And then there's also the scene where Caitlin's taking a shower and Jinx is just in the corner like staring at her. It was crazy psycho vibes, and also again shows her as this crazy character that then gets utilized in the final episode where she's like, I went to see your girlfriend and pay her a visit, and she brings out this plate, you know, this platter with a cover over it, and Vi's like, you didn't. She's like, I'm not that crazy, and just reveals a cupcake. I thought that was so good. Also, again, Savika, a side character in this show, she is characterized so well. She is so cool. She's straight up murders a dude in this episode, and I don't know, she's just kind of the goat. Oh yeah, and then in the final episode, what Silco says word for word is, there anything so undoing as a daughter, as he pours alcohol into Vander's grave, basically memorial. And it's just like such a good like storyline where he just actually cares for her so much. There's the scene where Jinx is questioning Vi at the end of the episode, and she just says like, are we still sisters? And it cuts to black, and it's so good. That scene where Silco is at one end of the table, Vi's at the other, and there's Jinx's chair and Powder's chair, is like, that might be my favorite scene in the final season, because it shows like just the ultimate destruction of Jinx's brain. Like, she does care about Vi a lot, and she does care about Silco, and she doesn't know which chair to choose, and she wants someone to choose it for her almost. And it ends up sort of happening where I think that she loves Silco, and I think that she loves Vi, and she wanted Vi to kill Caitlyn because then she could go back to being Powder, because she views Caitlyn as something that Vi cares about more, and so she thinks she won't care about her. Like, she's insane, but it kind of makes sense as from an emotional level. And then they just show Silco picking up the gun to shoot Vi, and she just kills him, you know, shoots him so many times, and then she just starts to break and finally chooses Jinx. Like, that scene is so good. I went in rewatching the season, like, I know Silco dies, I don't really remember how. And then when I saw it, I was just like, oh my gosh, bro, what were they doing? This is so good. Like, again, they set her down and they put her the last two people in her life that she cares about, and they just make her choose. And she's having these thoughts, all these people yelling in her head, and Caitlyn's there. And when watching it, you want to scream at the TV, like, why are you not saying these things? Why are you not just saying, like, look, I just met Caitlyn, you know, I don't want you to hurt her. She's my friend. Please don't hurt her, but I still love you. Like, you want to be Vi in that situation and just like say everything that should be said, but you also, I get it from Vi's point of view, because you're looking at someone who's insane. She's yelling at people that aren't there. She's, you know, running D for a person who's done horrible things, killed children, killed so many people. And it puts you in this situation where you just don't know what to do. Vi didn't know what to do. She don't know what to say. She sees her sister and she just wants to be with her, but they're torn apart again and again and again. And now Jinx is the one tearing them apart. And I think she knows that in her head too. And it's just like her brain is fractured, man. And they do it in such a beautiful way. And then it leads into the scene where she takes Shark Bones and just destroys like the Capitol. She just nukes them. Everyone in there dead except for, you know, you'll see in season 2, Jason Bell. That scene where she's just crying and she just, you know, she puts one of the arcane balls in there and does what, you know, Silco wanted to do all along, and just fully embraces being Jinx, and it ends. And that's where, you know, people that watched it at the time had to wait 3 years till the next season, and it was brutal. But like, man, what a show, dude. I mean, I just got through all my notes and I don't really know if I have much to say, but like, the character development, the way these characters are characterized, I mean, like the relationships, how deep, how thoughtful, how impactful, meaningful, and like how much emotions it gets out of me. It is insane. And it's crazy because from my memory, I liked season 2 more. So I don't know if that's still going to be the case after the rewatch, but you'll have to wait and see. I'm going to make a video on that as well. But please let me know your comments and your thoughts from season 1 of Arcane. Rewatch it if you haven't in a while. It is still just as good. And like, really just let me know what you love about the show. I think I did a good job explaining through my thoughts through the show and everything that I just adore. And yeah, if you want to rewatch season 2 with us, join my Discord. I'll be doing rewatches after this drops. Like the night that it drops, I'll watch the first 3 episodes. The next night I'll watch the next 3, and so on. And then we'll make another video about season 2 and my thoughts on that. And we also just watch stuff in the Discord all the time. I'm kind of a bum. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Join the Discord, and I'll see you later for the video on season 2. Peace. Thank you so much to all my Patreons for supporting the channel, and thank you, Paragon, for the extra crazy support.